everyone to get out and show who they truly are and to fight for equality, right? This is a party, but it's also a movement, and we've gained some ground over the last 10 years, but it's not solid ground, so forward we move on. And we have a lot of fun at the same time. Yeah.
What does Pride mean to you?
It's equality.
What does Pride mean to you?
Well, I mean, Pride is definitely a day to celebrate sexual orientation, but it's also a day to highlight the fact that we still haven't reached equality yet, and you know, the struggle to fight for everyone's rights so that we eliminate discrimination based on gender or sexual orientation. We still have a ways to go, and so this highlights that, and really we need to continue educating Albertans, Canadians, and everyone around the world that we're not there yet, but we need to continue to fight for equality, and the Alberta NDP will do that day in and day out.
Awesome, thanks.
Thank you.
Pride is a celebration of diversity. Realistically, like I come from a farming background, I come from a very rural setting, so realistically Pride speaks to a lot of people out in the midst of nowhere where gay people aren't necessarily as accepted as downtown Edmonton. So it's really something that's quite joyous and uplifting, because it reminds people that despite the fact that there are organizations that are still trying to take our rights away, that every year we do get together and have a fabulous saunter down 102 Avenue.
Well, it's just wonderful being here in this diverse crowd compared to when I first started going out in Pride Parades 30 years ago, and there was a handful of people going around one block on White Avenue carrying some signs, and we've just made a huge amount of progress.
It means a lot to me. It means that I guess it reflects how welcoming a city we are, and when you see this kind of turnout, and I think you see the general attitude of the community towards the Pride Parade now, it just speaks very highly of Edmonton and the kind of community we're building here.
Pride means to you is freedom, opportunity, and equality for everybody. Whether you're gay, lesbian, it's all fair for everybody. That's Pride.
Awesome.
Unity.
Great, thanks. This is a song I wrote about the situation specifically in Israel and Palestine. And when you kind of grow up looking at things from one perspective, sometimes later on in life you look at things from another perspective and realize that there's actually two sides to every story. But on a more broader context, this is a song about standing up for what you believe in the face of people who may not necessarily agree with you. It's called Walls. Been going through my mind lately a lot. Have many questions about what I've been taught. Nothing's as clear as it used to seem, as I stand idly by while humanity screams. I can't sit on the fence anymore, and I have to choose between peace and war, and object to oppression where it arises, no matter what else It is disguised as something has to be done. Don't know where to begin. Walls are meant to frame houses, not trap people in. I've been told I should be ashamed. I answer, don't do this in my name. I will acknowledge we're of the same tribe, but in this case I must step aside. I can't sit on the fence anymore when I have to choose between peace and war. I object to oppression where it arises, no matter what else it is disguised as. Something has to be done, don't know where to begin. Walls are meant to frame houses, not trap people in. I cry for the children, the women, the men who face the same hardships again and again. Generations spent under a regime where freedom exists only in a dream. I can't sit on the fence anymore when I have to choose between peace and war, and object to oppression where it arises, no matter what else it is disguised as. Something has to be done, don't know where to begin. Walls are meant to frame houses, not trap people in. We share the same blood, so I can't understand why we have to keep killing over a piece of land. We're the sons and the daughters of Abraham. I can't sit on the fence anymore when I have to choose between peace and war, and object to oppression where it arises, no matter what else it is disguised as. Something has to be done, don't know where to begin. Walls are meant to frame houses, not trap people in. Not trap people in. Not trap people in. And it's time to begin.
She's working a shift, that's right, yes.
Somebody else.
Well, today I come as a participant with my group, the Alberta Refugee Care Coalition. We met as students during the master, and this started as a project. And then everybody was so involved in our project about refugee healthcare cuts. We are advocating for that as a group. I come here today, Refugee Day Action, because I consider that it's not fair to have refugees without healthcare coverage.
Well, thank you very much for this opportunity to speak. We know that we have been fighting this issue of refugee health now for at least 2 years, and I just want to thank everyone at the University of Alberta, the doctors in residence, Maria and your group to really bring this forward. It has been, I think, somewhat successful. I think that the government is starting to listen to this obvious logic of providing comprehensive medical care to refugee claimants here in the province of Alberta. But before we do that, let's just remind ourselves just what a nasty thing the federal government did in making a cut towards refugee health a couple of years ago, or 3 years ago or so. This was a political decision, and it has very far-reaching consequences, I think not just for healthcare, but I think towards people's attitudes towards refugees and immigrants to this country. I'll tell you an interesting story. When I was re-elected in Edmonton Calder, some of the conservative groups forgot to take Calder off of the email list. And so for a while, I was getting the information that the federal conservatives and the provincial conservatives were were sending out to their people. And some of it I found very, very disturbing. And part of it was disinformation against refugees and targeting seniors. They would send and say, did you know that seniors were getting less quality health care than refugee claimants? And fanning the flames, I think, of not just between groups, but a message that's racist as well. And so I find that to be despicable, and this provincial government needs to step up to the plate to provide full refugee health coverage for people in the province of Alberta. $2.3 million, like we say, very affordable price. That is an investment to healthcare as well. If someone's not getting healthcare, their problems will be perhaps exacerbated, and it'll end up costing us more money in the end. Plus, of course, public health concerns too around infectious disease and so forth. But that's not the main issue. The main issue is that we look after all of us together, and how we, as a measure of who we are, how we look after people, especially when they're most in need. We're all immigrants here, right? And at some point in our lives, and we all need a hand up at some point in our lives too. It pays great dividends, and I think, I've got this feeling, ladies and gentlemen, that we're on the verge of being able to push this issue over the edge, that the government will make this decision. I deal in politics, and I know this government's in a little bit of trouble right now. And when they're in a little bit of trouble right now, they can spend $2 million and perhaps right a wrong that's been here far too long. On behalf of the Alberta Democrats, on behalf of the legislature, I hope that we can stand together. We have done so far, and I will be there to celebrate with you on the day when this government decides to restore refugee health in its entirety. Thank you very much.